Right, so I'm going to go right back. We were students at the University of the Western Cape, which was the center of the student struggle in the Cape, Western Cape. Even though you had another liberal university called the UCT, but they were not as active as we were at UWC. In fact, UWC had a nickname as the what was the nickname? But it was something to do with where the struggles started. So we were students. We were protesting. Our campus was invaded by soldiers, because remember it was a state of emergency, so they didn't send the police to break up protests. They used soldiers because they had that power. So the soldiers came onto the campus and started chasing students, and a friend and myself, we were cornered on one of the lawns of the campus, and they grabbed us, 2 soldiers on each side, and they marched us off the campus, across the road to where they had the armored vehicles stationed, and then they put us in these vehicles, and then we were taken to the local police station, where we were put in the charge office and then locked up there at the local police station. Yes, it was a gentleman by the name of Alan Taylor. He was the photographer for the Cape Times newspaper at the time.
Met him?
No, I've never met the gentleman.
Yeah.
Why I remember the name of the photographer? Because he was also charged because they were not supposed to take pictures of anything that happened, because it was a state of emergency. So it was heavily censored, because the government knew that those pictures would eventually end up in the international press. So they didn't want any publicity or anything to go out of the country. So the photographer was charged, but eventually, because he worked for a big newspaper, I think the charges against him were dropped. But something similar to fees must fall protests, which you guys experienced about 2 or 3 years ago. This is also what happened on the campuses, where the students were protesting for a just cause, but the authorities turned it into something which was illegal.
I was 70.
How old are you now?
82.
And you're still going strong.
So. Trying to. I will never forget the morning when, after his arrest, I had a business going in those days, so I walked to the shop on my way to my business to buy the Cape Times. And as I opened the Cape Times, lo and behold, a big bloody photo on the front page of my son being marched off by this soldier, whatever he was. That was a shock. The anger, and you feel so helpless. What can you do? Well, the anti-apartheid movement and these guys took over. After that, they did everything. They got the attorneys to attend to fight the case and so on. He appeared 3, 4 times till he got fed up and said, no, let's get an advocate. So they got an advocate, and within 1 hour the advocate got the case kicked out. The experience was traumatic. Terrible. Well, when the apartheid government got kicked out, we were happy. We just pray that this country will come to their senses and see what's going on now. And I remember the fight we had to put up, and they had to put up to get control of this country, to ruin it the way they're doing now. We pray for them.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Dion.
Thank you.
Well, I think it's the one thing is that they should learn from the mistakes which we have made, and in that we were, I think we were naive in thinking that we could change everything within a couple of years. Change takes time, and if there's anything that I can appeal to the generation of today is to be patient, but also to use the opportunities that you get, and to pay it forward. So what I mean by when I say pay it forward is to leave a legacy and to create opportunities for those who are coming behind you. That's the only way we're going to uplift ourselves, as if we uplift others as well.